The great tomb of Nazareth was calm once more. The guardians had returned to their posts, continuing their eternal vigil over their slumbering master. The lizardmen were rebuilding their village, which had been scorched and destroyed during the recent war. The villages of the forest and the dwarfs were also being rebuilt, this time with more care taken to reinforce them against magical attacks. Though the number of casualties had been rather high, the balance of power in the region had stabilized, at least for now. But Ainz, the undead overlord of Nazareth, was far from at peace. He was surrounded by his most trusted subordinates, Demiurge, Sebastian, Cocytus, and Albedo. All four of them knew the reason for the meeting, and they waited patiently for their master to speak. I feel we accomplished two things during that little war, Ainz began. First, we managed to determine the approximate strength of this world's magic casters and martial artists. Second, we showed those pathetic humans what happens if they anger the great tomb of Nazareth. But there are still many things we don't know, questions we must answer if we wish to survive here, let alone prosper. Indeed, Demiurge replied with a smirk. You are correct, Ainz-sama. We showed those ants what we are capable of, but they remain blissfully ignorant of our true nature. If we want to take this world, we need to get the humans to come to us, so to speak. Ainz leaned back in his throne, deep in thought. Exactly. Tell me, my friends, how does one conquer a world that doesn't even know of its conqueror? How does one become the king of a castle when the castle is hidden in the wilderness? The first step is always the hardest, and I'm afraid that despite all our power, we are still stuck on it. Albedo crossed her arms. Do you perhaps want us to declare war on the neighboring nations again? If that's what you wish, Ainz-sama, I believe I could convince Pandora's actor to put on a convincing performance as an invading army. I can mobilize the Guardians to oversee the construction of siege engines. That might work, Ainz said. But it's a bit too flashy, don't you think? My dear Albedo, wouldn't you agree that some battles are best won without raising a single drop of blood? Without giving our enemies so much as a scratch? Cocytus tilted his head. Are you suggesting we use deception, Ainz-sama? Ainz nodded. The fools outside don't know we exist, and frankly, I don't intend on changing that anytime soon. They will find out soon enough, but it will be too late to stop me by then. For now, I want to remain hidden, observing from the shadows. But how? How do we accomplish that? Demiurge suddenly snapped his fingers. Ainz-sama, I believe I have just the thing, and so it was decided. Ainz, the undead overlord, supreme ruler of the great tomb of Nazareth, would begin a new life. He would shed the identity of the dreadful Momon, the dark hero, a legendary adventurer clad in black armor, a silent warrior whose name struck terror into the hearts of evil creatures. It was a persona created specifically to serve as a bridge between Nazareth and the surface world, a world the Skull Reaper had yet to truly explore. Donning a full suit of black armor, Ainz emerged from the shadows of Nazareth, accompanied by Narbril Gamma, who acted as his silent bodyguard and companion. They left the tomb undetected, thanks to Aura and Mare's magical assistance. As they made their way through the wilderness, Ainz couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement mixed with anticipation. It had been a long time since he'd taken on the form of Momon and roamed the mortal plane. Before leaving, Ainz had checked the local records and discovered that the nearby human city of Rantel was on the edge of a dangerous region inhabited by monsters. Although it was bustling and prosperous, its lord was weak and easily manipulated by those with ulterior motives. And Ainz had decided that it was the perfect place for Momon to make a grand entrance. As they approached the city, Ainz noticed adventurers boasting and bluffing about their past exploits. To become a hero to the common folk, one had to be as dazzling as possible. It was a fact that Ainz knew well, thanks to his years of experience playing the game. They entered the city and headed straight for the Adventurers Guild, where Ainz signed up and requested the highest rank missions. The room fell silent as the guild members stared at him in disbelief. You heard him, right? Did that guy really ask for the highest rank missions? What a joke. Yeah, normally we don't turn away applicants, but he's probably just trying to make us laugh. I mean, look at him. There's no way he can take on rank S missions. Momon stood silently, waiting for someone to respond. A few moments passed and a young woman stepped forward. All right, I'll take you up on that. You want the highest rank missions? Fine, we have one such mission right now, but I warn you, many have tried and failed. Are you sure you want to go through with it? Yes, Momon replied. Very well, then listen up. You see that mountain pass outside the city? Well, every night, a ferocious monster comes down from the mountains to prey on livestock and travelers. It's strong and fast, and so far no one's been able to stop it. We even had a whole team of high-level adventurers try and take it down, but they ended up coming back empty-handed. Most recently, 2S rank adventurers teamed up to take it down, but they never came back at all. We don't know if they succeeded or failed because no body was ever found. This is why the mission is a double S rank, because no one knows what kind of monster it is. It could be a powerful magic caster or a super strong warrior. The reward is double as well, 50,000 jewels if you manage to slay it. Then I accept the quest, Momon declared. When he stepped out of the guild, Narbril was already waiting for him, her usual bored expression on her face. Momon put a hand on her shoulder and she silently followed him as they made their way to the outskirts of the city. This monster seems to be quite powerful, Momon said, unsheathing his katana. Make sure to stay behind me, Narbril. If anything happens, activate your special ability and retreat. Understand? Narbril nodded and Momon continued on until he reached the mountain pass. Soon it would be dark and the monster would appear. All he had to do was wait. It took less than an hour before a huge roar echoed through the mountains. The monster charged out of the darkness, revealing itself to be a giant boar-like creature with sharp fangs and tusks. It attacked with a swipe of its tusks and Momon parried the attack before taking a swipe of his own. The monster roared in pain and charged again, but Momon was ready for it this time. Meanwhile, Narbril was watching from the trees. She had a front row seat to the battle, but she couldn't see what was happening in detail. All she could make out was a blur of motion. Momon jumped back as the monster charged and slashed at him. It's amazing, she whispered. What kind of monster is this? How can it be so strong? The battle lasted less than 5 minutes. Momon didn't hold back, delivering powerful blow after powerful blow until the monster collapsed. When Momon returned to the city, dragging the beast's corpse behind him, the adventurers who had gathered to mock him burst into gasps. No one had expected him to return at all, let alone with the monster's corpse slung over his shoulder. That's impossible, one of the adventurers stammered. How could you defeat it? Even a whole team of elite adventurers couldn't do it. How is it possible? Momon looked at the stunned faces of the crowd and smiled. It's not a miracle, just a little preparation. And so Momon became a rising legend in Rantel. People whispered about the mysterious dark hero who had come from nowhere to defeat a monster that had terrorized them for months. Little did they know that behind the mask was Ainz, the undead ruler of Nazareth, and his plan was only just beginning.